Hello, welcome to class this month. High five for all.
Welcome to OnlinePilatesClasses.com, the most supportive Pilates-loving community across the globe. Enjoy new weekly classes from our amazing teachers. Download the OnlinePilatesClasses.com app today.
So 5 spine shapes is our focus. That's what we have. We have round, we have tall, we have side bend, twisting, and extension. And the Wunda chair is like the opposite of the Cadillac. So the Cadillac is a big supportive thing, and it really does a great job of teaching a tall back and has a lot of options for flexion, extension, and a few for side bending, and a couple for twisting, right? But it's this big beast of a machine that's really there to build your strength and connections. Where the Wunda chair is this little bitty thing, and we have actually a lot more options for twisting and extension and side bending and things like that, but not as much feedback. So if you struggle with your spine shapes, definitely make sure you hit the Cadillac Classroom, do the whole thing. It just keeps repeating itself of all the spine shapes. So you're really prepared for this one, because we're going to do a lot of tall back, but have very little feedback on our tall back. Versus Cadillac, we had a lot of tall back and a lot of feedback, right? So you want to have one top and one bottom spring on for footwork, and maybe a sticky pad so you don't slide off your chair. And start with your pelvis at the edge, heels together, toes apart, arms to be layered or behind your head. And if you do this, double check that you didn't fall into an extension, a fake one. Pull the low ribs in and then push the pedal down and up. And you are working the pedal to get more tall back, right? Working the pedal for more tall back. And then onto your arches and squeeze the legs together. Dropping the shoulders. And then on to your heels. Awesome. Okay. Come off of that, and same tall back, same thing going on with the legs, but you're going to be doing it in a standing position. So this might be easier or harder, right? So hands can be on the hips, and then you'll place the ball of one foot onto the pedal, and you're basically doing your footwork, but now with a standing leg. So it's tempting here is for your pelvis to twist. And what we want is to really find our hips nice and square. And again, not faking into an extension and thinking that that is tall. For 3 and 2 and 1, and switch legs. So stand with the heels together, toes apart. You know your hips are square. Pull that other foot up and push it down and pick it up. Dropping the shoulders down, standing through the ball of both feet. You might even get more hip flexion here than you do for footwork, and that's great. That's what this can do. But we don't want to sacrifice our tall back, right? Awesome. Okay, so now we'll turn to the side. We'll do our side press down side. So tempting to cheat into a side bend here when it's not. So the hips are going to remain square, and you're going to push the pedal down and lift it up. And then place the foot down and bring the other foot on and square the hips off and pick it up and down. Whew. So again, this one can turn into a twist real easily. It is not. This is another tall back. Okay. Awesome. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to call out the spine shapes. If a spine shape is not right for your body, you'll just do a spine shape that is. And if you need questions or suggestions, ask us in the group. We do have a modifications for the back chair workshop on OPC by one of our OPC members who has fusions, Lori Watson. She's the queen of modifications for the back. Switch your legs. But as a member, we're so happy to offer up suggestions so that you can be brave and courageous to replace what you can't do yet with what you can. So now you're doing your crossover, and again, it's not a twist. So the press down side is not a side bend. The crossover is not a twist. The press down front is not extension, right? 2 more. Awesome. Okay. We're going to do a closed chain flexion. So what does that mean? Stand close to the chair, heels together, toes apart. Take your fingertip and thumbs together, Achilles stretch. Place them on the chair, and then place one foot on the pedal, and then your knee goes in between your hands, and you're going to point and flex, and point and flex. So you're in a round shape. It's so tempting to stick the booty out and drop the chest, but you're in the longest flexion and you've got closed chains to help you. And then pick the pedal up, switch your feet. So point and flex is never choreography. We're not super focused on it today because we're focusing on the round shape of our spine. So my eyes are kind of facing the chair so I don't overextend over flex my neck, right? And my tailbone's reaching for my heels and you're lifting your ribs up. And then lift up the pedal. Now, put your hands to the back of the chair. Another flexion exercise, a little bit more tricky. Both feet come on. Heels together, toes apart. Round your shoulders over your wrists. I see a lot of hands halfway down the chair. I promise you, you want more space. So put your hands to the back of the chair and put your shoulders over your wrists. Pull this chair apart and let the pedal lift and lower. Hugging your ankles towards each other. And then, it's so tempting to round past your wrists. I'm in a heavier spring than I normally do this on, so I don't have to change them all the time. But if you feel like the pedal is shooting you off of your wrists, lighten your load. All right. Okay. Sticking with that flexion, we're going to drop down to either two bottoms, or you can do even lighter and do one middle. I'm going to go with two bottoms because I actually really like a little bit heavier of a spring still to warm up. Don't go too far away from the chair, but give yourself some space. We're going to do the push down. It should feel the same lift, and sometimes we make it an arm exercise. So arms go up, round forward, place the pedal towards the floor, only as far as you can, and then bend your elbows back and reach. You can also bend them wide like you're doing 𝐏𝐲, whichever you prefer. Either is fine. It's still going to be a round spine. Then you're going to lift your ribs to close the spring. You are still in a round spine here. You're going to push down into a round spine and pump 3 times. And then you're going to lift it back up and push it back down. So we focused on warming up with a tall back and then taking that tall back into the longest round back. Lift your arms up to come up. Why? Because extension is a challenging spine shape to do without just like letting it all hang out. So we want to make sure we're super, super connected. Now let's go to one middle spring if you're not there already. Okay, one more round spine with closed chain. Stand with your heels together, toes apart, toes touch the back of the chair, arms up and round forward. Hips over your heels, reach through your waist and then lift your waist and reach through and lift and reach and lift. 2 more. Last one. That's wonderful. So great. Okay. Lie onto your back. We're going to do some more flexion with an extra little twist to warm up into our twist series. So we're going to do our ab series here on top. If you want to just do it on the floor, you totally can. It's totally fine. It's going to be harder up here. Easier is going to be taking the long length of the chair. Harder is going to be the short length, right? So you choose which one you want to do today. You do not have to do what I'm doing. And then bring one knee and one leg out. Pull, pull, switch. So when you switch, your flexion has a tendency to want to lose itself, right? Your stomach wants to push out and we kind of want to lower our chest. So you try to keep the longest flexion here. Both knees into the chest, heels together, toes apart. You can rest or reach your arms back by your ears, legs go out, circle around and pull it in, and reach, circle around, pull it in, and reach, circle around, pull it in. Then take your legs up, rest or pull, pull, switch. So you can rest at any time. I'm going to go through all 5. You can maybe do 3 of your favorites. Last time. And then hands behind the corners or behind the head. Lower the legs and lift. So legs go low, but the chest does not. 2 more. Last one. Here's your crisscross. Here's your first twist. One knee and one leg out. And twist. And twist. And twist.